What's up, Clever Masterminds? Cleverboy86 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead Season 6 finale titled Last Day on Earth. So this episode really focuses on two storylines. Basically, there's the Morgan and Carol storyline, where Morgan is searching for Carol, and then there's the storyline with Rick and the group trying to get Maggie to Hilltop. So I'll talk about the Morgan and Carol storyline first and kind of get that out of the way because that was more of a side story. So I'll get that out of the way first. And then I'll talk about the storyline with Rick and the group because that was the main focus of the episode. So basically, Morgan finds Carol and he finds her at the doorstep of this library. And he takes her inside, and basically he tries to get Carol to come back to Alexandria with him, but Carol points a gun at him and tells him to leave, and eventually she just puts the gun down because she knows that she doesn't have it in her to kill him. And then later on in the episode, Morgan ends up saving her because back in episode 15, Carol killed this group of saviors that she came across on the road, and one of those saviors survived and basically went after Carol, and he shoots Carol in the leg, and he's about to kill Carol, but Morgan shows up and kills the savior. And also, I forgot to mention, Morgan found a horse at the beginning of the episode, so he was riding on horseback. And Morgan comes across two members from the kingdom, and they basically tell Morgan that he has their horse, and they end up taking Morgan and Carol to the kingdom, which explains how Morgan and Carol were at the kingdom at the beginning of season 7. But anyway, so I thought it was really cool how they set up the kingdom in this episode. So that's the Morgan and Carol storyline. Now we're on to the storyline with Rick and the group trying to get Maggie to Hilltop. So basically, at the end of episode 15, Maggie had some trouble with her pregnancy. Something went wrong, and they have to get Maggie to the Hilltop so that she can be treated by the doctor at the Hilltop, Dr. Carson. So they take the RV, and they're driving to the Hilltop, but they run into a group of saviors on the road, and they're basically blocking the road. And Simon's the leader of that group of saviors that's blocking the road. And Rick asks him, "What if it's your last day on Earth?" And Simon kind of asks Rick the same question. And he asks him, what if it's Rick's last day on Earth? Or the last day on Earth for someone in the RV. And Simon tells Rick that maybe he should be extra nice to the people that he's with because he never knows what could happen. And Rick tells him he should do the same. But anyways, so Rick and the group go back, and pretty soon they run into another group of saviors on the road. And they keep running into saviors on the road. And they keep getting messed with, and it's a very, very intense episode. And one of the roadblocks is this line of walkers, and they're basically all chained up, and Rick sees one of Daryl's arrows stuck in one of the walkers, and he also sees one of Michonne's dreadlocks attached to another walker. And it's not only like the saviors are physically messing with them, but it's also psychological torture. They're also playing mind games with Rick and the group. And it's now nighttime, and Rick and the group just want to get Maggie to the Hilltop, and they just want to heal. And they end up going on foot, and they hear whistling, and they literally walk straight into a trap, and they see literally 100 saviors in front of them, And this scene is absolutely terrifying. So, anyways, Rick and the group are basically brought to their knees, and Rick is powerless. And for the first time, Rick is actually terrified. And, anyways, they bring Glenn, Michonne, Rosita, and Daryl out, and they're all lined up. And Negan comes out of the RV. And I just want to say, Jeffrey Dean Morgan gave an amazing performance as Negan in this episode. Anyways, so Negan comes out of the RV with his bat, Lucille, and he's like, "Pissing your pants yet?" And that was just such an amazing introduction. But anyways, so Negan basically tells Rick that they have to pay, and then he tells him that he's gonna beat the holy hell out of someone. And Negan gives a monologue, and then he starts doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo to choose who he's gonna Lucille. And it's a really intense scene. You know, the music's ramping up, and Rick's obviously terrified. And then Negan picks his victim, and it's the cameraman. I'm just joking, guys. We don't get to see who Negan chooses, and they left us off on a cliffhanger, and I'll give my thoughts on the cliffhanger in a second. But anyways, Negan basically says that if anyone does anything, he'll cut Carl's other eye out and feed it to Rick. And he says, "You can breathe, you can blink, you can cry. Hell, you'll all be doing that." And then he hits someone with Lucille, but it's a first-person point of view from whoever's getting hit, and we see blood trickle down the screen, and Negan's like, "Damn, taking it like a champ." And then he hits them again, and the screen just goes black, and we just hear the person getting hit over and over again, and that's the end of the episode. So, anyways, they left us off on a cliffhanger, and I hated this cliffhanger. You know, like, they'd been building up to Negan all season, and then they just took away the payoff. Like, it was just such a dumb cliffhanger, and it completely ruined the momentum because, like, you know, the end of the episode was super intense. Like, the whole episode was very intense, and it had the right momentum going, and they just completely ruined it. And by the time season 7 came back in October, all the tension was gone. Like, I wasn't scared at all. I mean, watching the season 6 finale, I was shaking. Like, I was literally scared. But when season 7 returned in October, all the tension was gone. You know, the momentum was completely ruined. Like, this episode, up until the cliffhanger, was amazing. And, like, if they'd killed Abraham and Glenn in the season 6 finale, it would have made this episode the best episode of the series. And even if they just killed Abraham, like, it would have worked much better if they killed Abraham in the season 6 finale, and then they killed Glenn in the season 7 premiere. Like, I could live with that. But the cliffhanger that they did was just, it was ridiculous, and I was just totally against it. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the cliffhanger. You know, it was a shitty cliffhanger, and it kind of, you know, like, season 6 was a really, really great season in my opinion, but when I think of season 6, like, I think of the cliffhanger at the end, and it doesn't ruin the season for me, but it was just a really annoying cliffhanger. But yeah, anyways, that's about it for this episode. Really good episode up until the cliffhanger. The whole episode was super intense, and the build up to the reveal of Negan was absolutely amazing. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. The cliffhanger didn't ruin the episode for me, but it definitely brought my rating for this episode down. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for my review of The Walking Dead Season 7 premiere, titled The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. That'll be coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all for the next one. Alright, bye guys.